What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode Podcast interview. First off, thank you so much for tuning in, for checking out the show. Your support is massively appreciated. The only reason that this show exists is because of all of your amazing support. So we truly appreciate your support. I truly appreciate your support. Make sure that you're sharing the show with as many people that you feel would benefit from the show. The goal is to always grow this show and go out there and have a big impact. Real quick though, before we jump into today's podcast, I want to plug our sponsors that make all of this possible. Our first sponsor is my personal 90-day mastery bootcamp. This is my real estate agent mentorship training program. It's a group training platform. This way it makes it extremely affordable for you. Inside this program, however, I am unpacking my entire playbook. I'm walking you through step by step everything that I do inside my real estate business, everything that I've done, everything I've learned in my 12 plus year career with selling over 5,000 homes, with selling over $1 billion in real estate. And I walk you through step by step exactly what I've done, how I built what I've built, and what I'm doing today to go out there and create this success. But don't mistake the low cost for low value. This is an insanely in-depth, step-by-step program where I'm walking you through, again, step-by-step on how I go out there. My team sells 1 to 2 homes every single day in today's market, continue to grow my business year after year, and how I've been able to exit from selling, exit from actually day-to-day involvement in my real estate team, and create an epic, amazing real estate team that not only sustains but grows without my involvement. So whatever level that you're at, whether you're a brand new real estate agent, you're an individual high producing agent that wants to expand and create a team, or if you already have an amazing team, or you're a broker owner that's looking to step up your internal training, looking to step up your systems, your processes, your tracking, make your business more predictable, this program is absolutely for anybody that's serious about leveling up inside their business. So check us out, www.90daymastery.com. Make sure you use promo code LIVEMASTERY, all one word, all together, all caps. That's going to get you the biggest discount on 90daymastery.com. You're going to see tons of testimonials on there, video testimonials, what's included in the program, the future dates of the program. I do several of these every single year, so make sure to check us out and make sure to jump inside that program ASAP. My next sponsor that makes this show possible is perfectstormnow.com. If you're a real estate agent and you are looking for a lead generation machine website backed by an insanely powerful CRM system that allows you to convert your leads to appointments at the highest possible level, manage all your tasks, make sure that you're effective and efficient as you possibly can be inside your business, transaction management component, all of that stuff. It is hands down by far the most effective and affordable real estate website and CRM program that exists out there in the industry. It's what I use to go out there and sell 650 plus homes every single year, and the system is gnarly. If you're signing up for that program, make sure to use promo code MASTERY, PSN, all caps, all one word, all together. That'll save you the $200 registration fee and get you a great discount. Our last sponsor is REO University. So I teamed up with a good buddy of mine who is the most knowledgeable dude, hands down, that I've ever met when it comes to REO properties. This guy used to work for the banks directly as an asset manager, and he developed so many of the systems that you see that asset managers and asset management firms and banks use today. This guy sold over 11,000 properties, foreclosure properties, as an asset manager. And he and I teamed up with my experience of working with over 35 banks in my career, selling thousands of REOs, plus his experience. We've created just an insane program. Again, REO University, the website is www.REO Mastery University. It's a one-time payment for $997, or you can split that up into 3 monthly payments. This is not a live boot camp like my 90-Day Mastery boot camp. This is something that you have access to instantaneously. We'll walk you through exactly how to go out there and get in with the banks. So how to get the business, but then how to service that business at the highest level, how to go out there and complete BPOs, how to complete cash for keys, how to make sure that you're insane at your valuations, how to go out there and make sure that your asset managers are winning and hitting their goals, key indicators you need to look for, and more. There's 22 in-depth, just amazing, powerful modules that will teach you how to become an REO machine inside your real estate business. Now, if you're like me, I don't want my business to ever be in a vulnerable position, right? I don't care if it's a good market, bad market. It doesn't mean that my business needs to be good or bad. My business can always be great. During a market crash, right? There's no such thing as if the market's going to crash. It's just a matter of when, right? But again, you don't need to put yourself in a vulnerable position. You can make sure that your real estate business is 100% recession proof, and go out there and, of course, generate business, do a ton of business regardless of what's happening in the marketplace. And this is exactly how you go out there and do it. And we walk you through step by step. So check us out, REOMasteryUniversity.com. You can learn more about the program, hopefully register for the program, jump on in. This price will not last long, right? We just created this product, rolled it out several months ago, and just getting in the hands of the consumer, and people are having a lot of amazing success. So again, check us out, REOMasteryUniversity.com. All right, again, you guys, thank you so much for watching this show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to share the show. Make sure to comment. Like us on YouTube. Leave some positive comments. We love hearing back from you guys, and love getting your feedback. Keep kicking ass, and let's jump on into today's interview. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode Podcast interview. Every single week, we interview top real estate agents, top entrepreneurs, and straight up top badasses that are out there dominating their space. These are people choosing to not live a life of mediocrity, but instead to go out there and create big, amazing, epic lives for themselves, for their families, as well as have a big impact on others. So today, guys, we got another amazing rock star guest on the show. Our guest today was referred to me by a good friend of mine, who we also just had on the show, should be released really soon here in the next week or so. And this is his personal lender. So my buddy Brian is a very, very successful real estate agent doing some killer things. And this is, our guest today is his personal preferred lender. And Brian, who's a rock star, referred to our guest as the best salesperson I know. So I'm like, all right, this is a guy we got to get on the show. Also, I know those of you watching and listening that we interview so many real estate agents, which I think is amazing. And hearing it from top producers out there that are creating success. But I think it's absolutely critical, that we also hear from extremely successful mortgage brokers out there in the industry too. Right? In my opinion, one of the most important relationships outside of your clients that you can have in this business is with your lender partner. So our guest, again, mortgage broker, over 16 years of experience, is just slaying it. Joshua Morrow, welcome to the show, my friend.
How's it going?
Dude, stoked to have you on, man. It's, as I said before I hit the record button, man, it's nice having, we've only had, I think you're the second or maybe even third lender over the whole 3 years that we've been doing this show and all these releases. And I love getting a lender's perspective, right? I mean, you've created massive success. The relationship between real estate agent and their lender is something I just don't think many real estate agents grasp the importance of that. Right? I mean, like the cost of having a lender potentially jack up a deal, not just the commission, but also your reputation. And there's so much to it. But also, dude, when you work with a great lender, right? It just, you have that faith, you have that confidence it's going to get done, makes your life easier, increases your capacity. So there's so many things I'm stoked to talk about today. But before we get into some of those questions, man, I know you've been doing this for 16 years. Like, how'd this journey start, dude? Like, what led you into this space in the first place?
I got lucky one day, man. I was actually going to school to be a real estate agent and working at Walmart as a accounting office manager. And a buddy of mine was working for a bank, for a mortgage lender. He's like, dude, forget all that. Come work with me. Got me hired from Walmart as an account executive for a mortgage bank when I was 20 years old. And was really awful at first, just god awful. And once everything started lining up, I went from being really awful to being their top salesman for over a year and a half. And then from there, I went to work for one of my clients, and we transferred his mortgage shop into a wholesale mortgage lender. When I was 22, I did that. And I was the vice president of mortgage bank of secondary marketing for that company for 2 years. And then 2007 hit, and all hell broke loose. So then I was a branch manager for B of A for a while, and decided I saw the healthy market coming back, and working for B of A in 2008 was like the worst job in the world.
Yeah.
So I got back into the mortgage game, back in 100% mortgage back in 2011, and just paired myself with the right real estate agents, and just haven't looked back. It's been awesome.
Yeah, no, I love that, dude. So, I know most of our audience grasps it and understands it and knows it, but we also have a lot of brand new agents, or even people that are watching this show that are using this for guidance and inspiration to transition out of the corporate world to becoming a real estate agent. So I just want to hit on this because some might not know the importance of this or the difference. So you're a mortgage broker, right? Talk to us about, and just kind of elaborate on, what is the difference between a mortgage broker and somebody that works for a bank like B of A, and what are the benefits and values that it brings to a real estate agent and or their clients?
So the main difference is I have access to like 30 different banks' guidelines, and I can send that loan to 30 different banks. So when service levels, let's say B of A service levels suck right now, I can send that loan over to United Wholesale Mortgage, who's got great service levels right now because they're not as busy or whatever it is. One thing about me too is we don't have the overhead costs. I set my own interest rates with every lender that I work with. And typically most banks bake into their interest rates 3 to 4 points. We bake in 1.5 points into it. So I'm typically beating all of the banks by a point cost and fee typically. So that just means less closing costs for your borrower, or they can afford more because I'm giving them a lower interest rate.
Yep. Love that, dude. So, and you're able to do lower interest rate, right? Because you said you're able to keep your operation costs lower. So you can run at thinner margins than maybe a huge bank that has huge fancy buildings and massive amounts of staff, right? That has to have the highest possible margins just to make overhead.
Yep, exactly. They have to, and they got shareholders that they're adhering to when it comes to their company. It's me, my business partner, and a loan processor. And we do over 100 plus transactions a year personally. And just by doing that, we make plenty of money and we save everybody else a lot of money. I've gotten loans just from people who the real estate agents, their clients call up the real estate agent. They're like, hey, I didn't realize closing costs were going to be $11,000. Then that's when that agent's like, hey, call Josh. They call me. I saved $5,000 to $7,000 sometimes on closing costs.
Yeah.
At the same interest rate or better.
Yep. So then, being able to shop all these different banks, right, on them from the mortgage broker standpoint, like, I get how that helps with interest rates and getting a client the best deal, but kind of elaborate and talk about, because there's not always a one size fits all. Like, you might have somebody that maybe is just slaying it for your FHA clients compared to your VA clients. There's so many different products that exist out there. It kind of elaborate on that. Because again, I've been a real estate agent for 13 years now, right? And sold over 5,000 homes between myself and my team. But dude, at the end of the day, I really don't know a damn thing about the mortgage side of business, right? Where it's just always I get so my whole thing is dude, all I want to know is if you're looking to buy, I'm going to get with my lender, let them take care of it. And,
right.
And, I think that as real estate agents, and I'm as guilty as anybody, most just don't really take the time to educate themselves in the process, which we should.
Totally. And I've dealt with good real estate agents and bad real estate agents because I'm constantly dealing with other real estate agents. But the main thing is you'll find, okay, when you're a bank, sometimes some banks are really good at FHA and some aren't. You're right. I have that ability to flexibility to go, okay, this loan's an FHA loan. I know this lender I got slays it on that, and we're going to close on time. This one's a USDA loan. Not everybody does USDA. Not too many people are familiar with USDA because it's not available everywhere. This is where I'm going to send that one. And honestly, if you got some really challenging borrowers, those aren't for every lender. Like if you're dealing with a Quicken Loans or something like that, they're not going to they're not as aggressive when it comes to that 620 FHA borrower, where I got the flexibility to go all different places with those.
Yep. Love it.
And, the main thing that I want to stress too is, you slam dunk every client, and then that's how you get more business, because the best place to get business is by your past clients.
Yeah. And I get that, like from a real estate agent side, like, we want to operate fast. It's speed.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell you, like, on the listing side, how many offers, how many pre-quals I get that are just verbal pre-quals. They haven't collected, verified
Right.
assets, verified employment. And, to me, that shouldn't even be allowed to be able to issue a pre-qual without that, but it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So for a real estate agent to be like, all right, to know that this client is solid and it's a good use of my time, what would you recommend as far as slowing down that process, and what point to get them to, right before we start investing this massive amount of time of showing them all these homes and working with them to get into a property?
What I usually see my successful real estate agents doing is making sure they get pre-qualified with me before they actually show a single house. And my clients know when I pre-qual a loan, it's going to go through. And if there is, sometimes some clients are just marginal no matter what. I'll call up the real estate agent and say, hey, here's the deal on this client. There's certain things that I won't know until we're in underwriting. And if you want to proceed, you can. But typically, I always make sure I got income, assets, and credit ram before I issue out a pre-approval letter to somebody.
Yeah.
Because that way, if they're not going to get approved, the only person on the hook is me, Yeah. And after 16 years of being in the business, I'm pretty much better than all the underwriters out there.
Yep. No, like it, man. So then, you made a comment that all your top agents, and I know that you're working with some players, right? Like my buddy Brian and most of the top agents in Nevada that are out there doing some big numbers, right? And you talked about, okay, most of them do everything that they can to get them pre-qualified, make sure that they're solid before they go out there and show a house.
Yep.
Right? And it can be difficult to do that, right? Because a lot of times, like, a buyer's like, well, dude, I just want to see the house first. And sometimes you got to make that leap, meet with them to develop that connection. And like, what are some of the things that you see them doing, or that you recommend that us as realtors can use or say to these leads that we haven't met yet to really stress the importance of getting that pre-qual to have more success with that? So at the end of the day, I don't want to sound bad, but we don't want to waste our time, man. Time is limited.
Totally. I've had real estate agents who they go, okay, I'll show you this one house, but while we're at that house, I'm going to have you talk to Josh over the phone and at least get that credit. I can get credit pulled over the phone, get a quick app done, and get at least a credit and verbal income verification done with them. And I've done that right with the agent standing right there over the phone with me at a showing. I can do that within 5 minutes on the phone to get a quick. At least that's going to give them, okay, I'm only showing one house, not showing 15 homes with somebody that's not a real person that wants to buy.
Right.
Some of those tools, they can apply for a loan right on our website as well, on their phone. So certain things that those quick tools and my accessibility to a real estate agent too is, I always tell myself and my business partner is there's usually two of us, and we are always going to know what's going on with every single one of our loans at any given time. And you can call either one of us. I always market myself. I have a great wife who you can call me at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. The clients can, and I'll work with you at that time, whatever time's good for them.
Yeah.
It's not just an 8 to 5 job. It's a 24 hours a day job.
Yeah.
I've met with clients that don't get off it until 2 o'clock in the morning and they sleep all day. I've talked to them at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that don't let the borrower have that excuse to, I don't have time to get that done right now. Call Josh. We can work out a time to get it done.
Yeah.
And it's going to be quick. We can do it quick if we have to.
Yeah, I love that, man. I mean, it's something I'm always stressing, right? To not just my teammates, but agents that listen to podcasts or my coaching programs of like, look, man, you've got to work with a lender that operates at your same speed.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Like when I'm interviewing lenders, like, dude, like if they're like, oh yeah, I'm 9 to 5, or they give me limited hours, they're like, oh, Sunday's my family church day. I take Sundays off. Like, look, I respect that. Right.
Yep.
But if that's the choice that you're going to make, you're not going to get my business. Like, and I don't expect them to do it. Right. But have somebody that even works for you that can do that and be available in whatever passive.
Sure.
But you've got to have somebody that operates at your speed, because, dude, it is. I mean, this game is about speed, right? Like I always say that, because the general public hates realtors. We're at the lowest point of the totem pole and the likability index. It's like firefighters are number one, is most likable. Realtors at the bottom, below attorneys, car salesmen. Like, we're at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So the consumer doesn't like us until they're pre-qualified, and they know that home ownership is this home ownership dream, or making that next move is a possibility. They can feel it, they can taste it, and now the real estate agent becomes necessary. So that's when they start to like us and see the value in us. So It's all about getting that pre-qual as soon as you possibly can.
Yep, exactly. And that's what I always stress to all my real estate agents is make sure you get that pre-qual, get me talking to them. Even if they come up with a pre-qual from somebody you don't know, let them talk to a lender that you're comfortable with as well. Because there's a lot of bad lenders out there. There's a lot of, maybe not bad lenders, there's a lot of bad loan officers out there that just don't know what they're doing. And I've seen, Brian, one point, one of his deals was with somebody else, and it blew up at the end because they miscalculated the debt ratio, and those little things like that just could blow up deals at the end.
Yeah.
And you gotta, the right lender always has to ask the right questions. That's what makes a good loan officer, is asking the right questions to make sure nothing crazy is going to show up at the end.
Yeah. Yep. No, I like it, man. Yeah. Peel back that onion, right? And make it out. It's just some cookie cutter.
Totally.
All right. So speaking of asking the right questions, another question I get constantly is, because, again, a lot of real estate agents, I think there's a lot of agents that don't understand the power of having a great lender partner, but there are those that do. I always get asked at least several times a week of how do I interview them? How do I know if they're good? Because us as real estate agents, man, we're getting hit up by lenders and title companies, every single day. And, and everybody in the email or the message that they're leaving us is a badass. Like everybody does a great job. Everybody's got, the best programs. And then they always ask, just give me a shot. Well, that shot, you could cost my commission. You could cost my reputation, future business, wasting my time, right? I mean, it's a lot more than just that commission. So from a real estate agent's perspective, like, what advice, right? Because if you're a real estate agent in Reno, like, just use Joshua, right? But if you're in California or states where you don't operate, like, what advice would you give them to be able to vet that lender, to try to make sure that they have that right partnership?
Whenever I get hit with that obstacle from a real estate agent, I offer up some of the past real estate agents that I've done business with. That's worked well for me. And whether they call them or not are two different things. But I go, hey, have you heard of so-and-so down in Reno? I usually use a big name that every real estate agent knows in Reno, and they know that they're killing it. I go, hey, call him and ask him about me and see what he says. And I prep my real estate agents with that too. Just say, hey, you might get a call from so-and-so. They're thinking about using me. So don't be surprised. And that's the biggest thing I can say, is, nothing sounds better than other real estate agents saying, yeah, he kills it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that's critical, man. Right. Getting that, assurance from somebody else that's using them, right? Because then the other thing too is, if that went south, right, and I call up one of these agents that shit went south, they're also gonna be like, "No, this guy sucks," right? Or
totally. Typically that's where I get all my business. Brian has sent me probably 6 different real estate agents, and that's branched off where I'm in negotiations to be the preferred lender for a builder, where they're changing their preferred lender to me after doing one transaction with me.
Yeah.
And that type of stuff just, only by word of mouth. That's where you can get it. You don't land a 500 unit new construction deal without getting some good word of mouth and performing.
Yep.
Because builders don't like to not close on time.
Yep. No, love it, dude. So then, I mean, you're a guy that, because you've been in the game so long that you witnessed, and you were in the thick of it, right? When during the last market crash, I mean, you were doing wholesale loans that just went completely away. It wasn't just like, oh, restrictions got tighter. Like it just was dissolved.
Oh, totally.
And you had to move, shift, adapt, based on that. Because I mean, now we're in the second longest bull market in recorded history, most record real estate prices. And, people are just like, dude, like, we don't know when, but we're at some point this is going to end. And, I mean, based on what you saw being in the thick of it, during the last crash, compared to how things are now, because I hear so many different opposing views of, what's this correction going to look like? How bad is it going to be? I mean, do you see any red flags with lending restrictions, how things are of like where it's raising red flags from what you saw previously?
I think this time around, it's a pool of a lot better loans that are written out to people. I mean, there's still the high LTV, high debt to income ratios, but you can't go out and Fannie Mae is not buying a stated income loan, and this time, I mean, there's going to be a correction at some point. The markets can't continue to go up, and it's Newton's law. Whatever goes up must come down. So, I mean, there's going to be a shakeout, and I think it's not going to be nearly as bad as the last time for sure. I think the borrowers are stronger borrowers that are getting these homes. They're more vetted, if that makes sense, for their credit worths. Yeah. I mean, there's still going to be some foreclosures, but not like last time. Yeah. And I mean, if you even look at the history, the people that just let their homes go because they're upside down are probably kicking themselves right now. Right. Not because they needed to. I mean, just think about that. They all lost their down payment money that they put into there, and their homes are worth more now. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, real estate's one of those things where if you're in it for the long game, it's hard to lose, But if you're looking to just, buy and sell every, 3 to 5 years or, just silliness, right? You're going to get stung, man, at some point. So then, I mean, interest rates, dude, like one thing I'm always curious about is interest rates for so long have been so low. And I just don't know how long that's sustainable. I mean, how long can free money be issued? Like, what do you see? And I get these are questions where it's like, I know you don't have a crystal ball, and I guess it's just from your best guess. But like, what do you think of or see? Because at some point, and we're already starting to see him inch up here and there. Like, what do you see happening there? And like, what do you feel with all your years of experience, like a healthy interest rate is, where the economy can grow and things can sustain? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, there's a fine balance between when interest rates are low, everybody's super busy and everybody's buying homes, but it inflates the market and it makes it where all of a sudden people can't afford to buy homes once the value hits too high. So I think we're by the end of this year, this is just 100% speculation. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm thinking we're probably going to be more at the 5.5 rate by the end of the year. I mean, right now, depending on your credit score, you might already be at 5.5 on your interest rate if you got bad credit and just with all the hits. But, healthy wise, it's going to probably be the 6 and under, six below. Yeah. Probably interest rate wise, going to still get a lot of people that are eligible to qualify. And it's also not going to saturate the market where everybody loves it when you own a home and your home appreciates 20%, except for when you are the last person to buy that house and then it drops 20%. So, I mean, you really want that homes to be appreciating at like 3 to 4% a year, not 20%, because it just goes too fast. And the more it appreciates, the harder it's going to fall. Yeah, when things appreciate that fast.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't been in real estate as long as you have, but it's, this month marks 13 years for me. And I remember I got in the business, like, dude, like a 5% interest rate was amazing, right? And then over the last couple of years, like I'd have like clients that'd be like, oh, dude, they quoted me 4%. That's BS. Right? I went through, and you're like, what the hell, dude?
Totally.
Right?
Like, this is historic low. I mean, a 6% interest rate is even a historic low, really. I mean, in the 80s, what interest rates were like 15, 16, 17%.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just the new era of people that are buying homes. All I've known from like the longest time is 3s and 4% interest rates, or even doing 15 years in the 2s, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So the expectation probably needs to be set and adjusted because, I mean, you need to go back and look at the history of the market, not just the last 15 years.
Yep. Agreed, man. And then, all right, so, I know as a lender, I'm sure you're doing a lot of refis as well, but you're doing a lot of buyer business, right? And I don't know if that's the bulk of your business or what that looks like, but what are you seeing? Like, who makes up the majority of that business? I mean, are you seeing, because we got what I'm excited for is the millennial generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest generation that, we've ever seen moving into, this marketplace, which, if you look at like new build developments and the amount of millennials that are going to be moving in the marketplace, like we don't have enough rooftops. Like we're not growing with real estate fast enough, which also makes me think that, our market is going to continue to be healthy for some time. And as that correction happens to not be, 2005, massively overbuilt, reckless loans. And they just created the perfect storm at that time. And the reason I'm asking this question, if you're seeing trends of like what those commonalities are the buyers is for real estate agents, like who, for the buy side, like who should we be targeting? Because most real estate agents just shotgun everything out there, right? Instead of targeting, hey man, should I be hitting this age range, going after these people, speaking to this type of a buyer?
I mean, definitely for longevity, you need to be targeting the millennials because they're the newest buyers coming in. They're the first time home buyers. And typically they're going to be the first people you get in there and they're going to be the more repeat customers that you get. I get majority of my pipeline is made up of first time home buyers. And then I got the people that are buying their second or third home that are selling that house and buying up. And like a lot of the new home construction build people I do right now, they are actually the people that are selling their home, making that $100,000 on it and going buying that next level home.
Yeah.
Then the millennials I see not buying the brand new home. I've not that that's the same for everybody, but they're buying the people's homes that are moving up.
Right.
So, I mean, in my area, like property taxes on brand new homes are super expensive, where you could get a home built in the 90s at half the price on the property tax. And that right there is hundreds of dollars a month off your mortgage payment.
Yeah.
So that's why you see the millennials that are super conscious. I mean, I'm doing one right now where they already have 2 other rooms rented out that they're moving into their new house. They already got 2 other rooms rented out. So they're offsetting their mortgage. And that's really what they're concerned about is what that mortgage payment's going to be.
Yeah. Yep. Love it, dude. So then, with first time buyers, right? A hard part for real estate agents is, like for a long time I was targeting first time buyers, I am a very low cost per lead, right? To go out there and target like because I'm in an area where you can easily buy in that entry level for much less than you can rent for. And with a lot of the great, FHA programs, down payment assistance, your down payment ends up being the same or less than, your first and last month's rent, security deposit, and all of this, right? But then the resistance comes in. Man, you got to shake through a lot of bad credit issues, other things there. So on a real estate agent standpoint, like, so we can plan for it. Like how many apps with those first time buyers does it typically take on average to get a full qualified buyer that's going out there and closing? Right? And I'm just asking this so like I know in my numbers where it's like, all right, so I know, hey, maybe it's 1 out of 10. Like every 10 apps I send this lender for a first-time buyer, like I know there's consistency there.
I mean, one thing about it is working with a lender that knows what to look at the credit and how to get their credit repaired as well. So you can actually turn some of those. It might be not a purchase that same month, but 6 months from now, it's going to be a purchase for you. And you're probably looking at about 50%, I would say. Just obviously, if you send 10 people that all have crappy credit, probably 50% of those are going to listen to me on how to rebuild their credit and how to do those things to get it corrected. But I mean, if it's 5 people that had crappy credit to start with, and all of a sudden they can get in a home with that FHA loan now, in 6 months, that's 5 more deals than you would have got.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, I would say about 50%.
Cool. So then with the credit that you do, I mean, is it just because of your experience, your expertise in the mortgage industry, or do you have like a credit repair company that you guys work with that you kind of follow them into?
No, I don't. I actually offer that service for free. Where there's a lot of companies out there like Lexington Law and stuff that charge thousands of dollars to do what it's kind of some tricks of the trade. If you there's certain things you can do to just, I mean, I've had people within 3 weeks get a 760 credit score, just by doing a couple little tweaks and going from no credit. Like I'm closing one right now. They went from no credit score to, in a matter of 3 weeks, having a 760 credit score, and they're buying a house.
Yeah.
And it's just some tricks of the trade that a lot of these credit repair companies charge you thousands of dollars to tell you what to do. And I'll tell them for free.
Yeah.
I'll make my thousands of dollars when I close your loan.
Yeah. So if you got that, like, you know, like I got a guy that works for me right now that's in this exact situation, right? You know, he's young, you know, like, I don't know, 21 years old, you know, great kid, makes decent money. But he has no credit, you know, like even his cell phone bill at this point is still under his parents' name and he's paying it. So he has nothing reporting. So it screws him. Like even like things like buying a car and other things, right? It becomes a challenge. Like somebody that's in that position, you know, maybe they're watching this and they want to like one thing that I always thank God about is my dad, when I was 16 years old, made me go down and get a credit card, you know, right? And, you know, he oversaw it to make sure I wouldn't get in trouble. But dude, by the time I was 21, I had a 700 plus credit score, you know, I don't think a lot of parents educate on. And then all of a sudden now you got this early 20-year-old that's, you know, has a good job, that has this career, they want to take this next step with home ownership, whatever. And it's like, well, shit, I got nothing. Like, where do I even start? Like what you talked about, some of those tricks, you know, right? Like what is something that somebody in that situation could go out there and do?
So that exact situation was the situation I was just telling you about. I could get him up. I mean, certain things have to happen and he has to be able to get some things done, but there's definitely a good way of getting him into a home within 3 weeks.
Damn.
So what it is, I mean, I'll let you in on a little secret. This is my trick of the trade. So you tell them, you have a conversation with you. Okay, do your parents or a family member have a credit card that they could put you on as an authorized signer? Okay, that has a low balance, long history, low balance, high limit credit card. They don't have to give you that credit card or anything. You have them get put onto that as an authorized signer on that card, and that whole credit card history gets put onto his credit. So let's say his parents had that card for six years. That whole 6-year history gets reported to his credit instantly. And that right there is how you'll get a 760 credit score without a credit score in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Now, does it have to be a family member or can it be like a good friend?
It could be anybody. Honestly, anybody.
Yeah.
You know, anybody could do that for you. And that right there, you get some people that have collections on there. So they have a bad credit score. You get a 10-year-old credit card that has a $10,000 limit and they owe $1,000 on it. That right there is going to just jump their credit score 60 points right there.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it's just those little tiny things, man.
That's how I get loans done sometimes.
Yeah, no, I love it. But dude, I mean, you got to learn the workarounds, dude. You know, right? And if you look at it, it's not like it's anything wrong. It's not illegal. I mean, it's loud and it works and it's effective and that's shit. That's the advice these people need that aren't getting anywhere else, man.
Well, and there's companies out there that they actually pay people to put them on people's credit cards and stuff like that. I don't really believe in that. But I'll tell you what, that like there's companies out there that repair credit and that's what they do. That right there, they charge you $1,000 for me to tell you to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So
craziness, dude. All right, so I know that you built your business. really through relationships,
Yep.
right? Like you're not out there spending marketing dollars and, you're not spending 10 grand a month to brand and market yourself. And you're just going deep into the relationships. And, one thing that I see from a real estate agents, that real estate agents drop the ball massively on is doing what you've done, but like with their clients, right? NAR shows that 88% of buyers and sellers interviewed post-close, love their realtor, would use their realtor again. Only 11% ever do a repeat transaction. It's because they're always just chase that new business and, get third marketing dollars out there. And, can you just kind of like walk us through like what you do? Because, I know that you do a great job, but I'm sure it's got to be a little bit more than that to keep these relationships alive. Like, what do you do to create success there and keep those relationships alive and continue to grow that, those that are watching and listening can also use for their past clients?
We have a system in place where we send out like weekly and monthly market updates that touch with past clients, so that we're always in their mind, so they don't forget about us. The other thing is I keep a list of what interest rate I put everybody into a home. And I get an alert if it's a good time to contact this person for a refinance, because you not calling them to refinance when the interest rates are lower, somebody else is, I guarantee it, and you're going to lose that business. So you got to keep in touch with your past clients, especially if it's like an USDA, FHA, or VA kind of deal. Those type of past client touches, you always have to be sending something to them, just your anniversary of you getting into your home, even just to keep your name in their mind. Especially when the purchase side of it, they might not buy a home for 5 years. That's a long time not to hear from somebody. They're not going to even know if you're in the business still.
Yeah.
So, I know Brian in the past, Brian does a great job at this. We actually do past client parties. I live up in Lake Tahoe, so we're actually planning a past client customer appreciation day at my house right on Zephyr Cove, and we're having all of our past clients come up, and we're just gonna have a little barbecue and hang out with them.
Yep.
And it's not even to get new business. It's not even for the people who are getting business. It's just for past clients that we've already closed.
Yeah.
And a couple $100 to spend on 10 or 15 past clients, it keeps them in your mind and almost makes them feel guilty for not using you again.
Right. Yeah. I love it, dude. And I like how you talked about like tracking their history and letting them know, like you talked about, hey man, if they were in this program, like right now might be the best time to refi or sell or whatever. And there's some really cool real estate tools, really mainly one that I think is going to have a massive impact on how real estate agents can prospect. And it's called Remind. It's called Remind.
Remind,
right?
yeah.
And it it'll show you like, hey, what these people that bought in this time that have X amount of equity, whatever. If there's a way to team up with your lender as far as a real estate agent and be able to kind of paint that picture, paint that story. Because for me, hey guys, the market is up, right? Well, what does that really mean to them? What excites them or might mean to them is, hey, the real estate market is up. From when you bought your home, the amount of equity in your house that you have right now, along with the interest rates being as low as they are, you can sell your house, take that equity, move up 1,500 square feet to a larger home, use that down payment with a lower interest rate, not affect your payments, and paint that picture and that story, and team up with your lender that can, help you paint that picture, man. I think that, shit like that is, the more we can start doing things like that, I think the more successful we're going to be.
The more you team up with your lender too, you're going to get that bond, and then the customers are going to see, okay, these two actually know what the hell's going on how to get things closed, and it just builds a stronger relationship for your client as well.
Yep. Agreed, man. Agreed, bro. So, I know that what your structure looks like right now, and as you guys grow and expand, and like what's your vision for your brokerage? You guys want to continue, growing, expanding, and turn this into a big shop, or what's your personal vision for what you're doing?
I don't want to be the number one guy out there in the world, but we're definitely working on actually opening up 2 new offices and hiring about 3 or 4 more loan officers in the Reno area. We have one in Incline right now. We're working on another one in South Lake Tahoe and one in Reno right now.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, out of Lake Tahoe, I don't even have an office in Reno. I did over 100 transactions in Reno last year without even having an office there.
Yeah.
So we're going to hire 2 loan officers for Reno, 1 for South Lake. And we're going to really vet the people that we hire, because we're not going to just get some Joe Schmo loan officer that doesn't know what they're doing. One thing that's good about me being in the business for 16 years in this area, I do know some really good other loan officers that are looking to take that plunge into the right spot. But really, I don't want to be above 6 or 7 loan officers total. Sometimes, that saying, the bigger you are, the harder they fall. I want to be the guy that always offers the most competitive interest rates and really great service and have my finger on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it, man. Love it, dude. So being in the business now for 16 years, right? I mean, you've got a lot of things right. I'm sure that, you've had a lot of learning experiences in that time too. I hate to use the word failure, because that's how we learn, expand, and grow, and allow us to become who we are. But knowing everything that you know now, if like you today could go back to the Joshua 16 years ago, have a conversation with yourself and give you 2 pieces of advice that you feel would just to fast forward your trajectory to success, what would those 2 pieces of advice look like?
Save that money. There's the first one. You got to save the money when it's really good, because the least amount of money I've ever made is doing mortgages, and the most amount of money I've ever made is doing mortgages. So you got to save that money when it's good. And when I first got into the business, I started this business when I was 20 years old. I had no business making $200,000 a year at 20 years old, So definitely save the money. Second one is power through when it's slow. You got to power through. So that's why you got to save that money. When it slows down a little bit, you power through it and stick with it, because you're going to come out with just even stronger relationships, making it through that harder time.
Yep. Couldn't agree more, man. And when you mean power through, right? I mean, I know that, you're talking about, hey, sticking with it, keeping, like, never give up, never quit, but is there anything else to that with your definition of it? Like doubling down on your hustle or like, what do you mean by power through?
When things are slow, instead of making 4 calls a day, you got to make 8 calls a day, because you're only going to get business if you try to get it. And when business stops walking through the door, you got to hustle for it then. Yeah. It's easy. Everybody can get business if everybody's buying a home. You don't even have to be good. But when that shakeup happens, and all the real estate agents, I mean, right now Reno's overloaded with real estate agents, and it's full of probably 3,000 real estate agents in Reno, in a town that's got 150,000 people. That's a lot. Yeah. And there's only probably 25% of those that are actually doing good business. So when the shakeout happens, you want to be that one that's in there, because the market's going to come back, and you're going to come back even stronger than you were when it was good.
Yep. Love it, man. Love it. All right. So Joshua, I mean, where's the best place? If somebody is in your area that's listening to this or wants to get in touch with you and follow you, like, where's the best place to reach you at, to follow you at? Where would they go to do that?
They can go right onto our website, theradfordcompany.com. And you can contact me there. Facebook, I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those as well.
Awesome. And those watching, listen, we'll have links right below to all of his contact information, so you can check out the site, check them out on social media, get in touch with them. So again, those that are watching, listen, I know I end every podcast with this, but information without implementation truly is just the start of delusion. Information is a power. It's taking that information, taking massive action on it, that creates the power in your life for you to create the life that you know you want and deserve. And Joshua shared so many amazing pieces of advice with you guys today. Make sure you take something that you learn and go out there, start implementing and taking action on it. So again, you can create the life that you know you want and deserve. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And Josh, man, I truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here, man. It's been a lot of fun. It's been an honor.
All right. I appreciate it, Josh.
All right, you guys, we will see you next time.
Peace.